we got our trailer and we are doing some rust issues, dealing with the rust, and they're getting it sealed up so we can start building the floor. Are you excited about the tiny?
Mm-hmm. Be more excited if someone was actually working.
It's day 4 on the tiny, so we're getting the floor on, doing the plumbing for the bathroom and the kitchen. And it's already hot. Gonna be a busy day.
Day 4.
So we got the trailer for free actually, and we just had to demo it and strip back everything that was there and start fresh. And so we put plywood down and then put 4x4s to reinforce the floor, and separating the insulation with 2x4s. We decided to go with insulation boards instead of bats so we wouldn't have to worry about flooding issues, because we knew we would be parking it in a flood zone.
When I was 2 years old, and the only reason I'm brave enough to chase my dreams, 'cause Daddy taught me I can do anything.
It's day 5 and we're gonna put in the plumbing so we can finish the floor, and then start the walls. Our lumber just got here, so that means we can actually start building our walls and yeah, get the bones of the house ready. Rainy this week, but that means we'll be nice and cool in the shop when we're building, so I'm actually kind of pumped about that, because when it was hot we were like sweating buckets. So yeah. Good morning. It's day 10 on the tiny and we are building walls, framing walls. As you can see, we got all our windows figured out, so we're gonna figure this out, and then yeah, should be a good day, be a productive day. This part's super fun. It's when you start seeing the vision of what's to come, and you can start seeing yourself living in it, seeing it as an actual home. So this is really fun for me, especially for the design elements, because like all the things that I've been doodling on paper and going through a million pages of graph paper for to get just right come to life. Now I get to see them actually realized, and we'll see how well I did or not. But yeah, so I'm excited. So we decided to frame out the walls before putting them up and just putting all the plywood on. And now that did make it very heavy, so we had to enlist our Uncle Dwayne and my dad to help us lift the wall. And I'm very grateful that they were there to help us get it level and sturdy and fastened, because we couldn't have done this stuff on our own. So one thing about me is I'm a dreamer, but I can also be very practical, and I'm a realist as well. And so I spent like the 2 months before we started building the tiny house just researching every other tiny house out there, crunching numbers, doing supply costs, and just figuring out how affordably we could build this tiny house. And so our goal with this tiny house wasn't to build the most beautiful or lavish tiny house out there. There's so many beautiful ones out there that inspired us. But our goal with this one was to do it at an affordable cost, at an achievable rate, so that we could complete the house in 60 days and have somewhere safe to live and call home through this scary time in the world, but also to make an investment in our future and to just find a more affordable way to live, because we couldn't afford to rent in our town. We were home for the summer, but we didn't want to continue living with our parents, and we knew we needed a space of our own. And so it turned out that actually building our own little dwelling made more economic sense than renting or anything else. And we're lucky to both have parents who own property and farmland, so we knew we had a spot to put it, which is one of the biggest issues. I would say I'd make sure that you know where you're going to put it before you start building. Standing in the tiny, we got walls now, so excited. And the main way we were able to make this happen was we took our travel savings, because we knew that with the state of the world we wouldn't be able to travel anywhere soon, and we invested it into the first big portion of this build, and then we also found a lot of reclaimed items. So thankfully my dad is a carpenter and he saves a lot of odds and ends and bits and pieces from other projects or renos, and so we used a lot of reclaimed wood and windows we got from him, which saved thousands and thousands of dollars. We had just built a house with my dad prior to starting this project, and so we were pretty confident in the process and our ability to do this, so that was a tremendous help. And then obviously we have our Uncle Dwayne and my dad to call upon should we have any questions or worry about anything. But also my husband was studying civil engineering at the time, and so I felt like we were in good hands. So we're at Home Depot and trying to grab stuff for plumbing and electrical, and I've built quite a few buildings and houses and stuff with my dad, but I always had my dad to tell me what to put where and, you know, how things go. And so I know some basics, but I don't know how to do this from the ground up on my own, so a little bit lost at the moment, but I think I'll figure it out. Hopefully. Wish me luck.
Two of them, right? There's a 22 and a quarter half of the that's yeah.
So $788 later, we are heading home with a full car. But every time Cook Molly comes to get anything for the tiny house, he buys me new plants. So, and I already have a collection, so now we're just basically building a tiny house greenhouse because we're gonna have more plants than anything. But I'm not mad about it. So we're at Rona grabbing some stuff and things for the house, and we'd framed in one window that we don't have yet, and we just kind of guesstimated a size based on other bathroom windows. And we got to Rona and we found a window on clearance for half off that will fit what we framed already. So perfect. Super stoked.
Hello. Put me on the spot.
The only thing is what?
This
What's wrong with it?
we're gonna look for one of these guys.
A knobby knob? Well, my boyfriend has a 3D printer.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's day 18 and feeling sluggish. Had a really hot couple days. Trying to stay motivated. What are you doing?
I'm gonna get you to help me cut this in half.
Okay. For the wall?
Yeah.
So the reason why we had to build a house in 60 days was because we were starting online classes in the fall, and we wanted to be moved in and settled before the start of the term. And so that sort of put a rush on things because we knew it was already going to be stressful enough adjusting to a new online program after taking classes in person. We just didn't want to have to worry about school as well as building a house. And so we didn't build it in 60 days back to back. We did take a few days off here and there, took a couple weekends off to reset and take a break from the heat. But all in all, it took us 60 days until we were able to move in. That being said, we did change things after the fact as we felt out the house and spent time in it. We changed a few things or made some upgrades because we started with such a small budget. We knew that we could just do some things to get by for now and make it livable, and then upgrade as we started making more income again or had better ideas. And I really appreciated that because I feel like when you're building such a small space, it's hard to know exactly how everything will feel, even though on paper it looks great. But once you're actually in there and there's two of you and you are doing different activities or duties in there, one of us is studying and the other is trying to do music or something like that, it's just there's a lot to consider. And I wanted to feel it out before we did the final final version. But this was just part 1, and part 2 will be coming soon, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that. And make sure you follow me on socials as well, because I have new music dropping very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.
Oh, did that hurt? You're still filming?
You're cute. That butt is totally camera worthy.
I'm just doing as cowboys do. Let the horses